A wedding shower. Happy couple right back there. Congratulations. I love each other. That's the right answer. There is an emphatic shaking of the head. You know, there's something about weddings, marriages, two people coming together, two people who are living around kind of individually say, you know what, we want to do this together. We want it to be one thing. These bonds of love. Love does, it bonds. Not just marital love, but love in general. It bonds us together. We're going to talk a little bit today about what love is. You know, we use the word love. It's not a word, right? I mean, happy couple. Taylor, right? Tanner, sorry, Tanner. Tanner says he loves her. I say I love his chocolate chip cookies. My daughter makes some chocolate chip cookies for me because I heard his potluck, and Aaron texted me and told me his potluck. I thought it'd be legitimate. I think he bring something. So I said, Linda's having cookies real quick. I said, okay, she makes a really good chocolate cookies. She only let me have about half of them, so I don't have to, whatever. But I love these cookies. So we say things like, you know, the husband says to his the husband-to-be says to his bride-to-be, I love you. And I say to those cookies, I love you. He says, all right. This word love, those are two very different things, aren't they? How come it doesn't sound weird in our ear that this word can be used in such a different way? What does it mean to love a person or a thing? What even is love? We're going to talk about that a little bit. Let's read first. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Y'all know this passage. It's an amazing passage. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Let's read the word of the Lord. If I speak in the tones of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I know every language on earth, if I even know the language of the angels, if I'm like William Shakespeare in every language, I'm like the most brilliant, linguist in history, but don't have love, I'm just a noisemaker. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If you know everything, if you have all knowledge, if there is nothing you don't know, and if your faith is so strong that you can move mountains but don't have love, you're nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give my body over to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. If you are active in all the right social causes, if you come to church every time it opens and you go to every benevolent ministry, if you fight for all the right causes, if you give your life for others, but don't have love, you get nothing. Love, patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. And it does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. I say self-regarding. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. I can't imagine a passage any more strongly commend the importance of love than what was done right there. Notice it doesn't quite give us a definition of love. What he gives us is characteristics. Well, I want to talk a little bit about what I think love is. Then I want to say some things about how you see these characteristics in love as it affects, okay? Let's think about what it is for a second. Let's go back to this example of me loving the chocolate chip cookie. Why does that not sound forward to our ear? Well, what do I want to do with the cookie? I want to eat it. Right? I enjoy the taste of the cookie. Right? I'm certainly not seeking to protect the cookie. I want to eat the cookie. I don't want the good for the cookie. What I want to do is eat it. I'm attracted to it in some sense. Now, you might say, in some kind of weird way, I want to be one with the cookie. You with the cookie. Right? So keep that in mind. It's one way to use love. Another way, in some cases, romantic love doesn't work. I teach it. First, by the way, I don't mean to make light of it. This is actually, I'm going to make light of it, but just know that I know that it can actually be experienced. I've experienced it in my life. So making light of it, but not flip it. Sometimes, a romantic relationship doesn't work out. At university, sometimes I'll have a romantic office, put that down, say it's wrong. She says she loves me, but she doesn't love me. You ever thought around a little bit? She loves me, but she doesn't love me. How does saying the word twice change things with words? Now, what does she mean when she says to him, I love you, but I don't love you, though? Well, first, think about the first phrase, I love you. I think what she's saying to him is, I don't want to do bad habits to you. I want good things for you. I wouldn't give about us or anything. Right? I'm not out to get you. I want good things for you. That's what she means by the first, I love you. What does she mean by the, I don't love you, though? I don't hang out with you. When I go to the movies next Friday night, right? We're not dating anymore. Isn't that what she's trying to say? I don't want bad things for you, but we're not dating anymore. I love you, but I don't love you, though. So I want good things for you, but I don't want to be around you. Now, with the cookie, I wanted to be around the cookie. Right? There was an attraction. But I wasn't wanting good things for the cookie. I was wanting to destroy the cookie. Right? So we got two aspects of love going on here. One is desire for the good things for the thing we say we love. Desire for the good of our beloved. And the other is desire to be with our beloved. And both of these are aspects of love. Right? So when we love something, you might say, we either desire good of it or we desire to be with it. Notice that these can come apart sometimes. We see this probably most clearly, at least in my life, I see it most clearly as a father. My kids are getting older. When they were young, but for whatever reason, when I think about this, what comes most strongly to me is my daughter, who's going to be a freshman in high school this year. I don't know how it happened. I'll say she's a freshman, And I remember they first put her in the arm, You remember, because of your parents. It's amazing. Connection, bonds just feel immediate. And as you grow, very, very young kids are wonderful. One of the reasons very, very young kids are so wonderful is they don't yet know how to hide themselves. By hiding themselves, what I mean is create a mismatch between what's going on inside them and what their facial features are. Right? So you can always know what they're thinking or feeling because they haven't learned how to make their face say one thing while their inside feels something else. Right? So you can always know what a little kid is thinking or feeling. When they put the money in, they're happy and they clap. It's awesome. And they go, oh, look at that. We're seeing a soul because they haven't learned how to hide their soul. Right? And so when kids are very young, you can see all that's going on inside them. And then they start getting older. And they start being hurt. And learning to hide what they're feeling inside. And maybe they don't want dad to know what they're thinking or what they're feeling. Dad's scared. How do I How do I know everything's going okay at school with her friends? If she won't tell me everything she's thinking or feeling. So there can be a temptation for many of us, dads, to try to break through that barrier. No, you won't tell me, right? There's got to be, you can't hide, there's got to be this togetherness. I have to see what you're thinking or feeling. But if we're wise, we won't do that. Because she's a person, an agency. And actually, the way I can love her best is not by trying to be tyrant over her or demand that she has to tell me everything she's thinking or feeling. No, she gets to the person. She gets to make some of those choices. And actually, loving my daughter well sometimes might mean allowing or even encouraging a separation. Right? As our children get, I don't know, they get older and they need to go out on their own. No, you're on your own. We done broke the plate. You ever heard that one? We done broke the plate. Sometimes our desire for the good of a person means that we're okay with a little separation. We can encourage it. It's what needs to happen for their good. Right? Now notice with God, this never happens. Our good is always in union with God. Our good is always in union with God. This our good and neediness of wanting separation, that never comes apart. Right? God does not desire to consume us when we consume cookie. He desires us to be with Him and yet still be ourselves. Right? This is the kind of union that's desired. And so that's what love is. Okay, so notice what's going on. We got these two things going on. Desire for the good of and desire for union. You might say, love starts as desire for the good of our beloved. That's what love is. It's desiring good things for the person you love. But that's a problem too. Because after all, I bet you got some people you don't desire. You ever had that? Don't say anything out loud. But think of that person. Right? I don't know what it is about them. It makes it hard for you to want good things. But truth be told, if you heard tomorrow they got the big promotion, or they won the lottery or whatever, you'd be a little upset. Because you don't want good things. In some cases, some people can really harm you in significant ways, where I couldn't even imagine wanting good things for them. I talked in class this morning about friends of mine at church I go to, this was years ago, but whose former son-in-law murdered their daughter. You think they want good things for him? I wouldn't. Do we love people if we don't desire good things for them? The answer to that is yes. How do you do that? You intend good things. What are you talking about? What's the difference between desiring good things for somebody and intending good things? Well, lots of times you intend to do things you don't desire to do. Right? For example, I don't want to get into work today, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. I form an intention in my will to get up and do something that I don't really have the desires or emotions to do. Right? Okay, so maybe that's where love starts. Not desire for the good. Because how are we supposed to love our enemies? What that really means is denying that we really have trouble desiring these things. Well, the answer is we can pray for them. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Love your enemies. How do you do that? Pray for them. What is to pray for them? God, I confess I had trouble wanting good things for this person. They've harmed me and they've harmed others. But I pray for their good. I pray that they will come to know you. To the extent that I'm mistaken by how I'm seeing this, I pray that you'll help me see better. Pray for this person. I encourage you today, whoever you were thinking of earlier, pray for them. Intend their good. Work for their good, even though you don't desire it. When you do that, you're loving your enemy. Okay, so notice what we've said. Okay, here's where love starts. Love starts as intending good things for the other person, for the beloved, right? The one you love. You intend their good. Now notice that might be where love starts, but that can't be all we want to say about love, because that can't be enough. As love is perfected, it creates changes in us. This is me trying to tell you what I mean by that. Sometimes when I'm using this example at Harding, I'll ask the student to imagine being home for spring break. They're home for spring break, and the end of the week comes. I want them to imagine their mom seeing them off and saying, "Hey, I want to tell you something, son. I want you to know I will good things for you. I pray for you, and I will your good. I intend your good. So I love you because the preacher guy said that love is intending your good. So that means I love you, so I've done everything I'm supposed to do. But I got to be honest with you. I hate it. I detest even looking at it. Like a cold shiver runs down my back at the thought of you coming back home after the spring break's over. Not great, right? Turns out that love, as it is perfected, it might start as desire or as intending the good of your beloved, but as it is perfected, along with it comes certain characteristic desires and emotions and behaviors. Among those characteristic desires and emotions or behaviors, for example, is a desire to protect. Right? You ever had a loved one like suffer something? I think since I've been here last, it's on my daughter. But I asked her permission to give the story. She told me I could. But last year, she interacted for the first time. She's been having something great stuff. 13, 14 years old, stuff like that. Anybody, certainly. She's running track. Things have been kind of rough. She runs some hurdles. The coach said, "You look really good running those hurdles. We're going to run those hurdles." She said, "Okay." She lines up for the hurdles for the first time. She gets the first hurdle and goes down. Then you want to get off. She gets the third hurdle and goes down. Everybody's done. She's about halfway through getting up. I'm down watching from the table. I see her cross with tears in her eyes. Waiting for me. You see, as I live, I want to protect her. Love, as it is perfected, gives way to certain kind of desire to protect. Love always protects, so we just read. Certain characteristics, emotions, and desires, behaviors, such that our good becomes connected up with the good of the one we love in such ways that we want to sacrifice and do for them. We take joy in sacrificing and doing for them, as love is perfected in us. And when that happens, certain kinds of human relationships can come together that allows for a certain kind of communal life that is all the good stuff that comes from this kind of connection of love. All the good stuff. There's nothing worthwhile without love. This perfected love. My son had surgery 2 weeks ago called the nuts procedure. Have you ever heard of that? The nut procedure? He's born with his chest was formed in a way that was growing inward, which is not really a big deal unless it starts getting to the lungs or the heart. And he's a little bit of an athlete. I say my retirement plan is his left hand. That's all. But he's a little bit of an athlete, and it started getting severe enough where it was causing problems with breathing. So we went to Arkansas Children, and they recommended us to the nuts procedure. And in the nuts procedure, it's a serious surgery. They had this 2 weeks ago. He's for a while. But what they did is they cut him right here, they cut him right here. And they took an iron bar, and they put it on one side, under the ribcage, between the ribcage and the heart, all the way coming out the other side. And they took it out, and then they put a bar like this, shaped in. They put it in like this, inside. So it's going between his ribcage and his heart. And then they took pliers on either side, and they turned it. You see what happened in his chest, right? And then they wired it in. In 3 years, they'll take it out. It's like internal braces, right? Oh man, this surgery hurts. I mean, it hurts. Now, the problem is that because of what was going on inside of them, There was a danger that his lungs couldn't bring oxygen to his body. That would be bad for him. And if it got any more severe, it could cause problems with the heart. And of course, his body needs the blood that the heart will deliver. In the same way that our body is made to run on oxygen and the blood, our soul is made to run on love. Love's another word for God. God is love. We're made to run on love. We're made to run on God. Our soul is. Love is to our soul as oxygen and blood is to our physical body. We language without it. So those surgeons, because my son couldn't get the oxygen that he needed, there's a threatening for that, and it threatened his heart. They put this thing in and they enlarged his chest. And it was a painful miracle, this enlargement of his chest. Where this good doctor, he heard him, this good doctor did. Went inside and heard him. It was a painful miracle, but he did so that he might have access to the blood and the oxygen that he needed. Our Father sometimes wants to do painful miracles in us. He wants to enlarge our chests so that we may have access to the love that we need to flourish in our lives. He's got to reach inside and change us internally, that we're capable of having the kinds of reactions, the kinds of interactions with those in our lives that are characterized by these things that are talked about in 1 Corinthians, this desire to protect, this love, this humility, desire for the good of, this ability to take joy in sacrificially giving to. Our Father wants to change us internally, that we may have access to the love that we need, so that we can live the way we're supposed to live. And my prayer for all of us is that God will do that for us. I want to finish with prayer. Dear Father, help us be the kind of people who love one another. Not just, I know it starts just with continuing to good people around us. But Lord, perfect that love in us. Take it further in us. Help us not just to intend their good. Help us to forgive. And possible to desire their good, even take joy and sacrificially giving to them in ways that their good is caught up in our own. So that the bonds of love establish communities that give us meaning and purpose under you, through you. We know, Lord, that our ability to love is only because you loved us. We don't understand why you loved us. You did. You made us. You sacrificially give to us. You sacrificially gave in ways we can't even begin to imagine here on the cross. You desire communion with us. You desire the bond of communion and love with us. Lord, enlarge our church. Reach into us and change us in whatever way you need. We can love you the way we should. Love others the way we should. In your name. No, I said I was going to be done with prayer. What was it one more thing? Talked about love, our ability to love one another, starting with God's love for us. We're seeing this in the little song, the love of God, the love of God. The love of God is greater far than inner tongue that never stops. It reaches to the highest stars, descends into the lowest stars. Could we with ink the oceans fill, and were the skies of parchment made, were every stalk on earth a quill, and every man a scribe by trade, to write the love of God would drain the oceans dry, nor could the scroll contain the whole, but stretch from sky to sky. We can love others because our Father